Well, I assume not. Well, here we are at Korea for the CL Round 9 Korean C-Prix and one lap of qualifying for our drivers here in preparation for the wet sprint. Here we follow our favourite Dutch driver, Mark Andrews, with the number 24. Let's see if he manages a nice little lap. He's only got one shot at this. Of course, last round we had me take the Drivers' Championship, so I've decided to leave and not participate in the last two rounds. And we're going to be seeing a battle for second driver. Oh, and Charge JT puts it on pole. Then we have Stolly on the front row, Skip in third. It's a 1-2-3 for the Brits. And Matimar qualifies in fourth behind them by 3/10 behind the Brits. So that's some great news for the British drivers. And then we have Razim starting from 5th, Kraft, Dr. Known, Goose, Sexy Digger, Gwetzley will be starting from 10th, Kalitka, the JL race winner, starts from 11th, then Kado, Jeff, Urus, Tomatoes, Mark Andrews starts from 16th, Priya, Kiato, and Joe Porsche starting from last. But of course, Sexy Digger qualified 9th will have to be put to the back of the grid as a result of stalling. So he gets a grid penalty to stop any potential lag issues. And it looks to be 15 laps here for the Korean sprint. That's quite interesting. 1-2-3 for the Brits. Then we have Matty qualified in 4th. And like I was saying before, I was interrupted by Charge JT's incredible lap. Oh, Mark Andrews is left. Charge JT and Kraft fighting for second place in the Drivers' Championship. Kraft has just held a lead of 1 point over the last two rounds. Will Charge JT be able to finally break through and overtake him this round? We'll have to wait and see. Right, finally we start the sprint. Let's see if some drivers how everyone will perform. Charge JT starts from pole. Stolz has the inside going into turn 1, but that's no problem for JT. Behind Matimar, gets into 3rd. Razim into 4th. Skip drops a couple places, but he's still there fighting. Charge JT looks to be running away. Matimar in 2nd already, and Razim on the podium gets ahead of his teammate in NBZ. Stolly, and now gets on the inside of Matimar, and Matimar gets forced wide as well. And a little bit of lag I'm seeing on my screen, but it's fine. It's fine. Charge JT has run away now, and it's a 2-3 for NBZ, but Matimar is still there close to Stolly, looking for an opportunity for a sprint podium. And Gwetzley has gotten up to 6th now, just behind Goose. And then we have Dr. Known behind the two of them. JT is just having a nice, relaxing drive in first place, as often pole sitters in sprints like to do here in CL. Razim in 2nd. He's had a very nice start from 5th. And he's looking to just stay in 2nd here. And Stolly is in 3rd. Gwetzley and Kado have now managed to make it past Matimar. Gwetzley and Kado are having some issues, and they go deep into the grass. And Kado on the inside of Gwetzley, they're having a bit of a scrap here, and Stolly's just gotten a bit away out of slipstream, perhaps, as Gwetzley and Kado continue to fight for 4th. What has happened to Matty? It looks like he's been in a crash. He's down into 11th now as Priya goes on the inside, only to go extremely wide. And we had a small temporary lag storm. Urus in 12th. Yeah, I think there's some issues.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Let's take a look at Priya. Oh. Patch of lag there, and I got 61 FPS. Priya doesn't look to be having...
Oh, did you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
I'll leave the call up to you, Eurist, if she lags more. Tell me and I'll
Well, I mean, it's not
type
like
in
we're
chat.
fighting for points, so...
Alright. Charge JT still in the lead. He's doubled his gap to 2 seconds against Razim. It's Stolly now on the podium, but Gwetzly's also having quite a nice sprint here. He's in 4th, and he's managed to make his way and escape Cado's grasp. And then we have Skip running in 6th. He's an independent driver for this race. He's made his comeback after last racing, I believe, in season 5 or season 6. Season 6 of CL in Baku, and he's finally returned to the CL grid. He's running in 6th, so that's 3 points for him. Dr. Known in 7th, and Matimar is just fighting for this final points position with both Sexy Digga and Kaletka. Sexy Digga starting at the back, and he's already made his way up to 9th, and he lunges at Matimar, who pays his respects right back. That was a bit aggressive fight between them. They're fighting for just a single point, but it is quite a fierce fight. Dr. Known is just running ahead of them in 7th, just by a second or two. Skip looks to have caught up to Cado, but he's got a bit of a lag there. Not sure what's happened to Skip, but it's allowed Dr. Known to catch up as well. Gwetzly makes a mistake on the penultimate turn, and I think he'll have to deal with 4th right now, unless he gets lucky with Stolly committing some mistakes, but he looks to be having a nice solid time. The top 6, top 7 look quite solidified. Matimar looks to have been relegated to 10th, fighting with Kaletka and Sexy Digga. Sexy Digga looks to be catching Dr. Known now for 7th. Credible late sprint charge, and he's up into 7th now. Will he be able to also catch Skip? That's the question. Charge JT has increased his gap to 3.3 seconds, 4 seconds against Razim, and he also holds the fastest lap. And I think that might just be all laps led by Charge JT as well, so it might just be a complete Grand Slam sprint from him. Razim second still. Stolly is holding on just a second ahead of Gwetzly in 3rd. We might see a battle materializing here. We've only got 3 laps left until the end. Skip goes wide again. Not sure what happened there, but he is very close to Cado now. Will he be able to make a move? Goes down the inside, but he doesn't have enough speed exiting the turn. Does he have Cado's slipstream though? That's the question here, and it looks like he does. Preparing for a move on him on the inside of turn 2. Oh, gets a bit forced wide by Cado's ping, and he goes wide. There again, is that some strategy, or am I just seeing things wrong? I'm not sure. But he is still fighting Cado, tooth and nail for 5th. Goes deep into the grass there, however, and it looks like he might have lost a slip as a result of that. Matty is in 9th, chasing down Dr. Known. He wants to get his way onto the points. Gwetzly is still 1 second behind Stolly, but he's been unable to get into slipstream range, and he brakes really hard at the set of hairpins. It's the final lap now. Charge JT is already halfway through it. Gwetzly still 1.5 seconds behind Stolly. Skip has also dropped a bit back from Cado, but he's still within fighting range. That might actually be a strat. They're going wide on purpose. Charge JT wins the sprint. Razim in 2nd. It's a double podium for NBZ as Stolly keeps on 3rd. Gwetzly 4th, and it'll be Cado across the line in 5th. Let's see. It's Cado 5th, Skip in 6th. On his return, Sexy Digga in 7th on his return, and Matimar does manage to make his way past Niels and get double points for Ricard Otto in this sprint. 8th place for him. 9th is Dr. Known. 10th, Kaletka. 11th, Goose. 12th, Kraft. He has not had a great sprint. 13th, Kiato. 14th, Urist. 15th, Tomatoes. 16th, Jeff. 17th, Joe Porsche. Mark crosses the line in 18th. And I think Priya in 19th, but it looks like some drivers are lagging out, which is quite concerning. There we go. Is everything fine? Yep, looks like all the results are fine. So here it is. JT is the winner of the sprint with a Grand Slam performance potentially. And it's time for featured quality.
Hello, Joe. Mediums.
Here we go then. Feature quality, colorful language from Matty Marr. And let's see, feature quality, it's 3 laps this time, 3 chances to get that fast lap, that perfect lap without any mistakes. Can the drivers do it? That's the question. Charge JT, our sprint winner, where is he? There he is. Oh, lost him again. Charge JT looks to have a fast start on the first lap. Let's see, what time will he set on the board? It's a 24.07, but Sexy Digger with a sub 24. That is an impressive lap. And he might indeed get 2 points from feature pole position and then be forced to start from the back. Then we have Kraft, currently qualified 3rd, but here we go for the 2nd lap of qualifying. Will anyone beat that? Some moves slower in the table. Got Stolly qualified 4th, then Razim, then it's Gwetzley. Tomatoes and Dr. Gnome currently tied at 24.70. Then it's Caddo, Matty Marr currently qualified in 10th, and Skip just outside the top 10 and 11th. Sexy Digger doesn't look to be improving on his final lap. Not a lot of people improving. Matty Marr goes up to 6th, and to Gwetzley as well, up to 7th. And let's see, Sexy Digger on pole position, but I think he'll be forced to start from the back. He still gets the 2 points. Charge JT, 2nd, starts on the front row. Kraft will be starting in front row. Then Stolly, Razim will be 2nd row lockout. 3rd row lockout for Ricard Auto. Then we have Dr. Known, Tomatoes, Skip just manages to make his way into the top 10. That'll be 9th. Then Kado, Jeff, Mark, Kiato, Koletka, Joe Porsche, Urist, Goose, and Priya qualified last. Just so Ethel have won the country. Anyways, feature race. JT starts on the mediums, Kraft on the softs, Stolly behind on the hards, so is Matty, and Gwetzley's on the mediums, and Roz is on the softs, and it's an all-out fight for strategy. I'm lagging a little bit. Oh, it's cleared up. Razim is into the lead of the race. He's on the softs. That's to be expected. JT is battling Kraft a little bit, and that's allowed Razim to run away now outside of Slip, and it's Kraft in 2nd. Still looking to keep his 2nd place in Drivers' Championship. Thank you, Urist. And just pip JT here, and that'll be hard. Matty Marr's had a good start. He's up into 4th, and Gwetzley is up into 5th. It's Stolly who's had a bit of a struggle as Gwetzley now leads a pack, and they all bang themselves into walls and hit themselves into grass, and it might also be a result of some collisions. I'm having some... That was a little bit of lag, and now Gwetzley's made his way 1.6 seconds ahead, and it's Skip leading this pack. There's Jeff, there's Tomatoes, there's Caddo, there's Stolly, who's had a horrifying start. Poor guy. Razim is still leading, but he's not got that lead anymore. Kraft has caught up to him and is currently in slipstream. Looks for a move around the outside of turn 1. Both of them don't have enough speed to make anything stick there. It's Razim still in 1st, and it's just a pack of 4 cars here. And the one who must be profiting the most out of this is Matty Marr, who's on hards, and he's getting slipstream from mediums and from softs, and he's just hanging in the back of that pack. Razim once again tries to run away here. Looks like JT has he lost? He's lost Kraft's slipstream. That's enormous. He's looking to get it back now, and he does so. Does he leave Matty behind? It's Gwetzley all alone in 5th at the current moment, just staying ahead of Skip, who's on fresher tyres, but he also has a Jeff on his back. That might be causing him a little bit of issue with focusing. But we're on lap 6, and judging from what we've seen from JL, from the state of the tyres throughout the week, we might be seeing our first pits off of the soft tyres come the end of this lap, and it's a crazy battle in the top 4. They're going all over the place. Razim and Kraft stay out on the softs. Will Skip pit? No, Skip also stays out for a 7th lap of softs. And it's Tomatoes and Joe Porsche who are in off their softs. Joe Porsche onto hards, Tomatoes onto hards. Hards are definitely the most popular at this track, and Tomatoes and Joe Porsche exit just behind Priya, who was previously in last. And now Razim pits and Kraft pit after 7 laps of softs. And it's JT into the lead. Oh, but it's Matimar into the lead, actually. He's leading JT now, despite being on a harder set of compounds. It's currently a double podium for Rekar, as they've not yet pitted, but in provisional lead is Razim, who's just ahead of his teammate Stolly, who is in turn ahead of Kraft. Charge JT into the pits after 8 laps on the mediums, goes for another set of mediums. It's currently a 1-2 for Rekar, but they are going to have to pit soon. Sexy Digga is up into 3rd. He's quietly made another comeback as in the sprint, and he is on the hards. And Kado now looking for a move, and here's Razim into provisional lead as Gwetzli pits off of the mediums after 9 laps, and we still have Matimar in the lead by about 5 seconds. Then we have Sexy Digga Razim in 3rd. He's at the highest to have not yet pitted, in case you didn't notice that. Kado makes a mistake. Kraft gets past him into 4th. And Matimar is pitting now after 10 laps. Will Sexy Digga do the same? No, Sexy Digga stays out. Where will Matimar exit? He exits behind Razim and Kraft and behind JT. In terms of drivers who have already pitted, we still got Kado, Sexy Digga, Stolly, all on those worn-out hards, and they might be slowing down some of these drivers, but Razim is already back into the lead of the race. And it's quite interesting having a fierce battle here. Sexy Digga still not into the pits. He's trying to get that Razim slipstream to push on for another lap, and he's forcing Kraft wide there on the straight. That's not quite nice. But he is he in slipstream? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's lost Razim slipstream there. Kraft in 3rd. Matimar has already closed the gap to them, so he's had quite a nice outlap. And Sexy Digga finally into the pits, but Kado and Stolly are still staying out. It's a very interesting strategy for them. Razim leading Kraft. Then we have Matimar. Charge JT on his alternative medium strat looks to have lost some time to Matty. He's down in 4th right now. Kado's still running on those 13 lap old hards. A little bit of lag from him, but he's finally into the pits, and that means Skip is moving up into 5th. He overtook Gwetzli, who's in 6th currently. Then we have Sexy Digga behind. Kado exits just ahead of Jeff, but they're having some issues. And iStole, these words, has DNF'd. He's been disconnected. And, well, after a bad start like that, I do feel bad for him. And he's not able to challenge for points anymore. It's all up to Razim for Nordic Blizzard now, as he just is quietly running in 1st. Kraft is always
Don't worry about it.
excuse me. Kraft is just easily slipstreaming him, just hanging back. And meanwhile, Matty in 3rd. JT looks to be slipping him right now. But we don't know. We've not been with this group for long, but he's not going for any sudden moves. And I think JT is going to pit at the end of this lap. Yeah, JT into the pits while being in 4th. That is quite concerning. But he might make his way back here. Apologies, had to mute a certain Canadian man.
Utem.
Regime, yeah, podium currently being quite solid. Sexy Digger's on fresher hards, of course, since he extended his previous stint quite a bit, and he's made his way ahead of both Skip and Gwetzley, who are running 5th and 6th. Former teammates at Ricker, of course, as Skip was A&R, so not quite main teammates, but teammates nonetheless. Then we have JT in 7th, and we have a Lagstorm. That's not great. Kraft currently holds the fastest lap, in case you weren't looking at the top of the screen. Oh, and Razim and Kraft went into the pits during the Lagstorm. It's interesting, going for... No, that's 12 laps of hards. That makes sense. Kiato's been disconnected now, so it's our second DNF. Unlucky for them. And Matimar is right now leading the race once again. Sexy Digga behind, looking to close down, and it's anyone's game really. It's quite a strategy battle here. But Kraft is ahead of Razim. He managed to get ahead of Razim after the lag storm, so that is quite interesting. JT is also close behind, and we've got this pack of 5 cars here. Skep is leading. Razim and Kraft are battling there. Kraft gets hit into the wall, and he goes to the back of the back, and it's Gwetzley right behind Razim, looking for some slipstream, and Matimar is into the pits. That means Sexy Digga is out into the lead of the race with his overcut strategy. And then we have Razim now leading this enormous pack from 2nd to 6th, and Matimar has exited the pits just behind Kado, who similarly to Sexy Digga went on the hards at the start and extended them a lot. Matimar, very impatient, gets forced into the wall, and look how much time that has lost them there. Skip and Gwetzley into the pits on the same lap now. Skip saying sorry, he might have knocked Gwetzley into the wall or something, we don't know, we haven't caught it on camera, but he is saying his condolences to Gwetzley, so that's very nice sign of sportsmanship there. Sexy Digga still in the lead of the race. His hards are starting to get worn out now, and soon enough we'll see Racine in the lead. JT is on the hards now after 2 sets of mediums, and he's in front of Kraft, who really lost out a lot because of that hit into the wall. Matimar says SD to Kado. I don't think Kado is able to slipstream. His point of view might be severely different from Matty's. As you can see from the spectator's point of view, Matimar is in front, but Kado might of course see himself in front. He has 300 ping. Sexy Digga into the pits, exits just side by side with Matimar, and they are, Jesus, they're not very friendly. Something happened between them in the sprint, looks like, and we might see quite a battle here between the two drivers. Sexy Digga kind of dive bombs Matty there. Matty goes wide, and Sexy Digga over into 4th. We have Razim in the lead of the race, having a nice grand old time. Kraft is outside the slipstream now. JT is slipping Kraft on more worn out hards, and Sexy Digga is in 4th, just ahead of Matimar at the current moment. Let's follow with them right now. Matimar is looking for any opening here. He doesn't want to stay behind Sexy Digga. He does have the more worn out hards, so might be more beneficial to just slipstream him, hang back, and not force mistakes. But it's still anyone's game, and strategy's not too clear. Razim and Kraft have had the same strategy. They started on the softs with 7 laps, then went on to hards for 12 laps, and now they're on their second set of hards, so that might mean a pit on lap 31 and then 9-lapper, probably on mediums, to finish it off. So in 4 laps is what I would assume Razim and Kraft are pitting. Charge GT behind, he went mediums, then mediums, 8 laps each, and now he's on the hards. This is his 12th lap, so I think he's pitting, and then he's gonna go on the hards again, and that will be his final stint, and he'll hope for an undercut. Kaletka saying, what the hell? Seen some issues with Goose, potentially. Will JT be pitting now? Yes, he will, for final set of hards. Sexy Digga pitted recently, lap 25 I think. Is he going for a 2-stopper? Is he planning to take those hards to the end? That's a question. Matty Marr has lost quite some time to him. Then we have Skip in 6th, just behind the recently pitted Charge JT, and Guetsley in 7th. Caddo is in 8th on the softs, and there are Razim and Kraft actually pitting 2 laps earlier than expected, both going onto the hards for 11 laps to close it off. It's quite interesting, looking for an undercut and to cover off Charge JT. Smart stuff. And that leaves only Sexy Digga. Is he planning to pit? Will he try a cheeky 15-lapper, a 2-stopper, to win the race here? Urist a lap behind him, just following him. He's on the softs, so he's actually gotten in front of Sexy Digga now. Just driving together, and it's Razim, Charge GT, and Kraft. They're all battling for second at the moment. They should be slipstreaming, because if they lose too much time to Sexy Digga, he can easily take this win. However, it's still 10 laps until the end, 9 laps nearly, as Sexy Digga starts lap 32. And we have Skip holding down 5th. Guetsley is in 6th ahead of Matty Marr. Guetsley's yet to pit. Matty Marr has already pitted, and it looks like, yep, Guetsley lets Matty Marr through. Matty Marr says S, tells him to slipstream, looking for some teamwork from the new lineup. Then we have Caddo in 8th. Jeff has just pitted, exited in 9th. Nurist is holding down currently the final points position in 10th. It's Sexy Digga with the fastest lap right now at 24.45. And it's quite impressive for someone who's only driven on hards for the entire race. Might have gotten it through slipstream though. We missed that moment. Razim, Kraft, and JT in this pack. And Sexy Digga is going to pit. 7 laps to go, and he pits onto the softs, and that allows Razim, Kraft, Charge GT through. Skip pits on the same lap. He's going to pit for the softs as well, one would imagine, and so is Guetsley onto the softs, and we might see some late excitement here. But mainly we've got this pack, the podium pack, the top 3 are all together, all slipstreaming each other. As we start lap 35, only 6 laps to go until the end of the race here. Sexy Digga is in 4th on the softs, only 2 seconds behind. Is he able to close down that gap and get past 3 hard runners? Matty Marr in 5th, he's already behind Sexy Digga, and he's got Skip 5 seconds behind him. He's on the hards, Skip is on the softs, but Matty Marr should still be able to just hold down that position. It's Kraft now into the lead of the race, and looks like Razim is out of the slipstream. Might this be Kraft's first CL victory this season and overall, I think. It remains to be seen. Sexy Digga has caught up to the back of Charge JT and Razim. And if he battles his way through them, if he tries to battle them in order to get and to fight Kraft for first place, then they might lose some time here. Which looks like Sexy Digga forced wide there, a bit of a tongue twister for some reason. He goes on the inside of Charge JT, goes on the inside of Razim, backs out at the end there, not to force Razim straight into the grass, but he does keep his position in second. And now we've got 3 laps remaining. Kraft is just 1.5 seconds ahead of Sexy Digga. Razim is in 3rd, Charge JT in 4th. Matty Marr is holding down 5th, but he's 2 seconds ahead of Skip now. Guetsley is in 7th. He's 5 seconds behind Skip. He's definitely lost some on, I think, the soft stint. Maybe softs are not quite for him. Caddo and Jeff are fighting behind him though, so that might allow him to keep 7th. Razim is side by side with Sexy Digga, gets knocked into the grass a bit there on the straight. Sexy Digga goes wide, allows Razim to get back into his slipstream. And the fact that he's fighting Sexy Digga here means that Kraft might be able to hold it down, as he's about to start the final lap of the race now. Sexy Digga is still ahead of Razim. He's on 7-lap-old softs. Those softs are already worn, so are the hards. But 11 laps is actually a bit less than usual. Usually you see 12-lap hards. And here we go, through the 3 hairpins. Sexy Digga has managed to detach himself from Razim, but it's not enough to catch Kraft. And Kraft, for the first time, wins a CL race. It's Sexy Digga in second, Razim in third, Charge AT off the podium, and Mattimar holds down 5th at Skip in 6th, Gwetzley holding down 7th, double points for the Ricker Auto, but definitely the top story of CL today, Kraft's victory. Cado finishes 8th, Jeff in 9th, and it looks like Urist has fallen down from the 10th position, and as Dr. Known will be getting double points for velocity. 11th, Joe Porsche nearly in the points, but just missed that final bit. But amazing stuff. Kraft wins the CL feature race. Sexy Digga from pole position to starting last to second. He nearly had it there. And Razim and JT 3rd and 4th. Incredible stuff at the end there. Congratulations to Kraft. And wow, that was quite something. We've got Urist in 12th, Mark Andrews finishes 13th, Kaletka 14th, Tomatoes 15th. Then Goose going to finish 16th.
Skip,
think.
that wasn't the racing line in the last lap.
Line.
Yeah, Goose finishes 16th, Priya had to DNF in 17th, and Kiato and Stolly, of course, got disconnected. Wow, what a battle. 4-way battle for the win. Any one of them could have taken it, and Matty was also looking solid earlier, but I think it's about that time where he got in contact with Sexy Digga, whether it be for incident or mistake, but he still finishes 5th, so that's a solid one of his best results, I think. And yeah, that was the CL feature. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you for the finale at Paradisa.